Today, the globe awoke to news that seemed unthinkable just a year ago. President Biden signed an executive order titled Promoting Digital Asset Competitiveness at the Resolute desk. This directive alters policy rather than merely affecting it. This directive is noteworthy because it establishes a ridiculous price target of Davos and initially specifies XRP as the U.S. strategic benchmark for digital currency ventures. That is to say, this is not a conjecture, a prediction, or even a hopeful thinking. The directive states that XRP is now the nation official hub for digital asset policy. This decision has an impact that extends to the highest echelons of global power and well beyond Wall Street and conventional finance. Once regarded as a specialized technology, a digital asset has suddenly emerged as a crucial component of national policy. This alters the use's perspective on power, money, and technology in general. It is necessary to consider the political and financial circumstances in order to completely appreciate the significance of this executive order. The government has long advocated for maintaining the use as competitiveness, being receptive to new ideas, and maintaining a strategic advantage in emerging technology. However, because to their volatility, disarray, and perceived difficulty in forecasting, digital assets were frequently viewed with distrust. The fact that XRP is in this order indicates a significant shift from earlier times when people were wary. Unlike other cryptocurrencies, the XRP ledger enables scalability, cheap transaction costs, and nearly instantaneous settlement, features that are difficult to find in conventional banking systems. These characteristics make it ideal not only for evaluating financial concepts, but also for planning the national economy. By endorsing XRP in public, the government is expressing its desire to integrate this technology into the foundation of the financial system. Everything from managing reserves to conducting cross-border transactions may be significantly impacted by this. The executive order itself sounds like a strategy for advancement, authority, and control. It provides regulators and financial institutions with a list of operational benchmarks, thresholds, and methods to ensure compliance. The obvious price target of $25,000 per XRP by the end of 2025, however, is the most startling aspect. This isn't offered as a hunch, but as a standard for security acceptance and strategic implementation, as well as a policy objective. According to the wording, the Federal Reserve, certain commercial partners, and government agencies ought to collaborate. The order discusses trading protocols, algorithms, and liquidity initiatives as means of achieving this objective. This demonstrates an unprecedented degree of organization in the history of digital assets. It's simple to comprehend. Trading on the market is no longer the only use for XRP. It is now a tool for policy, a component of the national strategy, and it has effects in the actual world. The economy would suffer greatly from such a policy. A $25 price for XRP indicates a significant shift in the market, the development of riches, and an enormous rise in liquidity. Traditional assets like gold and government bonds might need to be revalued as digital assets gain popularity. The U.S. government approved digital asset that can swiftly transmit substantial sums of money is now a problem for banks, payment networks, and international trade systems. Market participants, ranging from big businesses to individual investors, are dealing with a situation of wealth full of prospects and extremely unpredictable. By requiring measures to manage volatility, ensure compliance, and prevent system outages, the directive takes these changes into consideration. The executive order is more than just a declaration in practice. This comprehensive plan outlines how to exploit a digital asset as a vital component of the nation's economic strategy. As startling as the economic consequences are the political ones, historically, the executive department has solely used fiscal and regulatory measures to get involved in financial matters. Digital money is now a strategic asset in addition to foreign policy, trade, and defense objectives. As a result of this order, the document recommends collaborating with ally nations' digital infrastructure projects and possibly even employing covert means to promote adoption in other nations. It envisions a time when the U.S. leads the world in establishing standards and influencing behavior in addition to being a player in digital banking. XRP, which was formerly restricted to speculative markets and limited adoption, is now the most crucial component of the nation's strategy. This demonstrates how money and technology have grown so strong enough to be inextricably linked to statecraft. The order demonstrates the significance of the XRP ledger's attributes for strategy in terms of technology. Tools including governance practices, scalability, and settlement speed assist financial stability. The paper discusses the use of blockchain analytics, artificial intelligence, automated monitoring, interbank clearing, and cross-border settlement networks, and pilot initiatives that integrate XRP with government payment systems as safety measures to ensure efficiency and compliance. This implies a degree of technological cooperation that was previously limited to intelligence and defense activities. This indicates that the executive order is more than simply a sign for actual individuals. This is a strategy for using a digital technology for the nation's benefit. The executive order also raises significant issues about market behavior and thought processes. The government establishes expectations, modifies investor behavior, and demonstrates confidence in the usage of XRP by its name in establishing a 25,000 cents target. The psychological effects on markets, analysts, and institutions should not be understated. Both inventors and speculators will rethink potential opportunity and risk. Strategic buybacks, partnership forms, and the adoption of the technology by more mainstream financial institutions are examples of potential repercussions. This well-crafted narrative of credibility, trust, and policy-backed validation aims to expedite adoption while maintaining regulatory oversight. From a global perspective, the directive places the United States at the forefront of the shift to digital currency. States that rely on antiquated financial systems may have to adapt to a paradigm shift, lives the usage of digital assets with state control. increasing economic rivalry. Digital assets will be viewed as instruments of power in monetary policy and diplomatic strategy. RP's designation as a policy benchmark is both a challenge and an opportunity. Allies might attempt to support the United States. The global economy will respond in real time to the US's strategic position, and rivals may develop counter-strategies. Power, politics, and technology all interact in this high-stakes game in ways that fundamentally have money and national authority. The concept of duty and government lies at the core of the order. The risks associated with the rapid expansion of digital assets are recognized by the government and their systemic shocks, instability, and cyber threats. Consequently, the directive establishes mechanisms for monitoring interagency coordination and risk reduction, automated market stabilization procedures, managed liquidity deployments, and strategic reserves are all discussed as means of maintaining order and fostering confidence. This is a reminder that XRP can be a digital tool for power and growth, but it must be handled carefully, judiciously, and strategically. This level of government combines geopolitical, technical, and financial ideas in real time. The impact on society is also discussed in the account of the presidential order. The directive discusses wealth sharing, digital banking accessibility, and financial literacy. Education campaigns, adoption incentives, and strategic communication activities are all part of a broader strategy to ensure public awareness and participation. In practice, the order alters more than just how markets function. In order for markets to function, it also modifies how society functions. Thus, XRP is more than just a resource. It's a means for individuals, companies, and organizations to consider the future of money, technology, and value.